Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque, and welcome back to ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off in the previous episode, we had a board mate that was going ahead and causing some trouble in one of our patrols. Slumber Roach has, I think, been a little bit he's been unable to come to terms with the fact that Grey Swipe is no longer as free as she used to be and can't go on strolls with him in the woods. She's busy trying to teach her apprentice, who is doing very, very well, mind you. And now Slumber Roach is having to look at other things to do. You know, he doesn't have an apprentice of his own, so he has, basically ended up going ahead and causing trouble with some of the patrols we are coming across from allied territories. So I think last time we were with Chirp Clan, and he actually went ahead and started antagonizing those cats, which honestly, Slumber Roach, did you have to go ahead and do that? So hopefully he finds some sense of purpose, but actually I think Slumber Roach is going to be much happier because we are on the final moon for our apprentices before they turn into warriors. So this is like the last moment our mentors have to actually cram a whole bunch of things into our apprentices' teeny tiny but adorable brains. So actually, I should say growing brains with lots of wonderful ideas and enthusiasm, unless you are poppy poor and you cannot be bothered to do anything. But okay guys, let us dive into events and see what we have going on with these guys. So let's go ahead and skip a moon. So this is moon 35, and oh my goodness, I see notices and births and deaths. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. What? Wait, what? Luminous Clan has no deputy. Luminous Clan does not have enough healthy medicine cats. Cats will be sick/hurt for longer and have a higher chance of dying. Oh my goodness. Okay, well that is a little bit wild. Okay, only because I feel like, seriously, we don't have an active medicine cat and we don't have a deputy? Okay, when Chirp Clan arrives at the gathering, Miststar notices that the Chirp Clan's deputy is leading the patrol instead of their leader. Okay, everyone's having, problems with leadership, it seems. Miststar is the first to wish Chirp Clan's leader a speedy recovery, and the deputy smiled. Okay, so that is very nice. We did go on patrol, and I think it was with Chirp Clan that Slumber Roach was causing trouble, so it's kind of good to see that, they're not feeling too testy. So that's really good. And let's see. Despite Star Clan's efforts, Miststar's body just couldn't continue. His remaining lives were taken by old age. The leader has no lives left and has traveled to his Star Clan. Wait, what? Are you serious? I was thinking we might have some happy news from Dog Pounds and Nectar Rock. Not this. Oh my goodness. But the fact that well, I don't even know what to say. The fact that Miststar, if we look at the last loyalty lineup that we had, the fact that Miststar pretty much had the entire clan except for Dog Pounds loyal to him, I think this says a lot about the kind of leader he was. He had all his lives, didn't he? Guys, why are all our cats dying? Okay, hold on, guys. Let's view the dead. Miststar, can we look at your history? That is crazy. Wait, they have 9 lives. And Miststar lost 1 life because he fell into the river and drowned. He had 8 lives left. And he lost all of his lives? Because of old age? Oh my goodness. Is surprised to find himself walking the stars of Silver Pelt. That is wild. But it also means, apparently, guys, we have a brand new leader. Okay. We have a brand new leader in Lyrestar. And obviously that means we have no deputy. Oh my goodness. The clan is so small at this point. We have 2 apprentices. We have 1 retired cat, retired elder. And that means that we only have, what, aside from the cats in power, 1, 2, 3, 4, we only have 4 active warriors. So I think we are in dire need of warriors. Like, our clan is so tiny. It is back to the number we had when we founded the clan. But guys, that's crazy because we lost one of our prophets. Now we only have 2 prophets, Nectar Rock and Bubbling Gill. But not to fear, we still have prophetic lines continuing, at least one of the lines, in Poppypaw and Plumepaw. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what else is happening. Lyrestar has received their 9 lives and become the new leader of the clan. They feel like they're not ready for this new responsibility, but will try their best to do what is right for the clan. Visit Lyrestar's profile to see their leader ceremony. Oh my goodness, we need to go ahead and do this, guys. Let's go and check his leadership ceremony now. Like, I remember in the like Feather Clan that I played in classic mode, I remember when their leader, like the last leader we had, went through the leadership ceremony, because I think when I played that, I had 3 leaders. And when the first leader died, I don't think we had too many other cats deceased in the clan, so it was like a generic ceremony. But then when I had my 3rd leader like take the position, basically when the 2nd leader died, it was right towards the end of the series, and by that point we had racked up a few deaths. And so I remember when I was reading through some of those, cats that came to grant the 9 lives, I remember that being like really, really emotional. So I wonder, we have had a few cats die, like Almond Fur, and obviously our little like Bright Paw died. So I want to see Lyrestar's leader ceremony. So let's go and check this out. Lyrebuzz leaves to speak with StarClan. He closes his eyes and is immediately surrounded by his loved ones, friends, and clanmates who have passed on. Stars shine throughout their pelts, and their eyes are warm as they greet the new leader. With a warning of overconfidence being a slow and insidious killer on his maw. Killer on his maw. Wait, hold on a second. With a warning of overconfidence being a slow and insidious killer on his maw, Almond Fur gives Lyrebuzz a life for sympathy. That's right, because Almond Fur, he was a bit cocky and he was insensitive to some of the other cats. I feel very, very kind of oblivious as well, aloof, I think, cold and reserved, but obviously kind of unafraid to give his own opinion, like very confident in himself. And that kind of led to him having a lot of friction with some of the other cats, and then over time that leading to his death. And the crazy thing is that Lyrebuzz, along with Cloudy Snarl, is the one who orchestrated Almond Fur's death. So this is kind of a little awkward too. Obviously Almond Fur doesn't know this, but I wonder how Lyrebuzz would feel having the cat he killed kind of bring him one of these lives. Okay, Bright Paw bounds up to the new leader, reaching up on her hind legs to give him a new life for hope. She flicks her tail and heads back to make room for the next cat. Oh my goodness, Bright Paw? A little Bright Paw. And the fact that she had to reach up on her hind legs because she was tiny, she was an adolescent. Okay, Sandy Shiva, who is the cat who originally, from StarClan, who originally gave our prophets the vision. Sandy Shiva places her paw against Lyrebuzz's head, starlight shining in her fur. Her life for instinct feels like a rush of energy, like Lyrebuzz could fight through a pack of wolves and rogues in order to protect Luminous Clan. Okay, finally, Miststar steps forward. There is pride in his gaze as he stares into Lyrebuzz's eyes. He gives a life for leadership through the darkest times. Suddenly, the mist at the edge of the clearing takes shape. Dozens of wispy, starry spirits emerge, quickly surrounding Lyrebuzz. We grant you your remaining 5 lives. Individually, each voice is distant, but together the force of their words shakes Lyrebuzz to his core. Use them well with our blessing, and in a heartbeat they are gone. Miststar hails Lyrebuzz by his new name, Lyrestar, telling him that his old life is no more. He is granted guardianship of Luminous Clan and is told to use his new power wisely. The group of starry cats yowls Lyrestar's name in support. Lyrestar wakes up feeling a new strength within his body and knows that he is now ready to lead the clan. Oh my goodness, and obviously the more cats that we have deceased, the more we have going on here. Like, this is a lengthier ceremony and process with each of those cats giving you like a certain life. I remember the last ceremony that I was just talking about in Feather Clan towards the end, that was a little longer than this because we had more cats that had passed on. But, oh my goodness, Lyrestar, and Lyrestar was actually he was the second deputy that we had. And I think I talked about this a while back as well, about how oftentimes the first deputy doesn't end up becoming the leader. It's the second or third, maybe even fourth deputy that ends up actually becoming leader. I was not expecting Miststar to die this early, to be honest. I thought we might have even a third deputy who might end up becoming the leader, but no. Lyrestar was very well positioned for this role. Very well positioned. But guys, doesn't it feel almost appropriate that we kind of have a killer? We kind of have a killer who is the new leader of Luminous Clan. Okay. The drama. And I remember in the very first episode, some of you lovelies were actually, saying that this clan seems a little bit mischievous. Seems like something's going on. So yes, something is going on, it seems. Okay, Miststar was such a source of solace and peace for Bubbling Gale that he wonders how he'll get by without him. He can't be bothered to get up out of his nest the next day, refusing to speak a word to those around him. Actually, I don't think I realized how close of a friendship Bubbling Gale and Miststar had developed, and I think maybe Bubbling Gale because he was a very peaceful cat, and as far as I'm aware, Miststar rarely got into fights. He was kind of the wise old cat and wise prophet, so I feel like Bubbling Gale probably got a lot of solace, from Miststar. It says here, solace and peace, so Miststar was almost like a guiding light for him, even though there was a lot of, petty squabbles and things going on between the other cats in the clan. So I can kind of see how when that stability is taken away from him, the ground kind of slips from under his paws. Cloudy Snarl is rocked by the loss of Miststar. All those memories and shared moments are now burdens that she must carry alone. Cats come to her afterwards, offering her the biggest, juiciest pieces of fresh kill. But she refuses it all, staring at the walls of her den in silence. And the sad thing, I think for a lot of Miststar and Cloudy Snarl's relationship, we kind of saw that there was not really any love there. Cloudy Snarl was more or less, following Miststar because he was the prophet and she was doing her duty to the clan. And I think she viewed being chosen by him as an honor. But I think since then, I have noticed in their relationships, they actually did come to view each other as family, and they did actually fall in love with each other. So it was a much slower process for them than it was for Slumber Roach and Grayswipe. And it started happening more or less, after they had kids. So I can kind of see how this love was something that kind of crept up on them. So I can kind of see how Cloudy Snarl would obviously take this very, very hard. And I imagine her being mated to Miststar also gave her a lot of, status and, again, stability in the clan. The past moon, Miststar has taken their place in Star Clan. Luminous Clan mourns their loss, and their clanmates will miss the spot they took up in their lives. Moments of their life are shared in stories around the circle of mourners as those that were closest to them take them to their final resting place. And this is so, so sad. The fact that his kids were like one moon away from becoming warriors. I am so... I feel so terrible that he's not gonna be able to see them in their naming ceremony. Like, he's not gonna be there for that. That's so sad. That's just terrible. Like, I was thinking he would definitely see his kids become warriors, and then he would have many moons before he passed on. I was not expecting this. Oh, this is so terrible. This makes me feel so bad. Okay. Chirp Clan, we were trying to befriend Chirp Clan. Lyrestar. Yes, well, Lyrestar, you're in a good position because, let's praise Shade Clan, but you're in a good position because Miststar kind of did all the work with gathering us 3 allies. I mean, more or less, you only have 2 to work on now, and then the 3 relationships to maintain. Okay, guys, let us go ahead and actually check out. Our discussion has ended up being so long already, but let's go ahead and check out relationships and try and get a timeline for how things might have happened leading up to Miststar's death. Okay, Slumber Roach won't tell Bubbling Gale what he ate this morning. Look at Slumber Roach, still being a pest because he's like completely bored that his mate is being a mentor and doesn't have time for him. Bubbling Gale caught Plumepaw complaining about him behind his back. These two were fighting. They were arguing with each other in the last episode. And also, speaking of Plumepaw, I'm now getting reminded of the fact that it wasn't too long ago that Miststar sat down with Plumepaw and he actually talked about how, you know, each of them would lead the clan. I think because Miststar, who knows, might have started realizing that he was going to leave the clan soon, and maybe he wanted to kind of share his vision with his son so that kind of lives on in some way. And, you know, obviously his son, being as young as he is, isn't gonna take over as the next leader or anything like that, but his son is the next generation. So maybe what Miststar has to say is going to have some impact in the life that is to come for Luminous Clan in the future, and in, you know, Plumepaw's generation. Maybe even after the current leader, and you never know. Plumepaw, you know, one day might actually end up being a leader in his own right. So, darn, okay. Dog Pounce is grateful for something Lyrabuzz did. Okay. So Dog Pounce is grateful. Yeah, Lyrabuzz, I mean, obviously he doesn't know at this point that he's going to become leader. He's still a deputy. But I always imagine Lyrabuzz, Dog Pounce, and Cloudy Snarl as a bit of an inner circle because, you know, of the hatred for Almond Fur. I mean, that's the one thing that kind of bound them together. But I imagine them having a close kind of relationship due to that. Okay, Plumepaw brings Dog Pounce herbs from the medicine den for a headache. Also, did I read I don't think I read the log, the medicine den log. I'll try and remember to do that after we go through the relationships. But okay, so Plumepaw is being helpful with Dog Pounce. Lyrabuzz gives Poppypaw a particularly hard task, expecting her to fail. Oh my goodness, we knew that Poppypaw didn't really like Lyrabuzz, but has he actually given up on her? And oh my goodness, guys, Poppypaw now has a clan leader. Her last moon as apprentice is going to be under the tutelage of a new clan leader. And that's kind of interesting because we've been noticing for a few episodes how Plumepaw has been doing really well with his apprenticeship, but Poppypaw has really been lazy. She hasn't been listening. She's been lagging behind. And for a while there, it seemed like Lyrabuzz was trying, but now probably, well, at this point, you know, he isn't the new leader, but we can see clearly, it seems as though Lyrabuzz has kind of started giving up on his apprentice. He's like expecting her to fail at this point, which is probably cheesing off Poppypaw even more so. Ay. Okay, Poppypaw keeps making excuses about something Lyrabuzz wants to know. Yeah, she is not interested in the slightest. She's just not interested at all in making any effort. She basically has no respect for him. Slumber Roach and Cloudy Snarl will work together to make sense of something a clanmate said. Okay, now Slumber Roach, Cloudy Snarl, I don't know Did any of you talk to anyone? Okay, well, Slumber Roach, the last person Slumber Roach interacted with was actually Bubbling Gale. So maybe Bubbling Gale actually said something in annoyance to Slumber Roach, and now Slumber Roach is trying to work that out with Cloudy Snarl. He's trying to figure out, like, was it that bad of a thing, or was it that irritating that I didn't tell him what I ate in the morning? Because, you know, Slumber Roach, he was bored, so he was messing around Bubbling Gale, and Bubbling Gale got upset about it. And Slumber Roach doesn't understand what there is to get upset about, so he's talking to Cloudy Snarl. Okay, makes sense. Ploompaw vents about something trivial to Slumber Roach. And Ploompaw also had an argument with Bubbling Gale, so I imagine that Ploompaw overheard Slumber Roach being confused about Bubbling Gale's behavior, and he probably thought, you know what, there's a cat that agrees with me. So he's gone up to Slumber Roach and is basically venting about that. Okay, Miststar chats with Nectarrock about his day. Oh, okay guys, look here. So we haven't seen Miststar yet. So far, and now we are starting to get an inkling of what Miststar might have been doing in his final moments or in his final moon. So he was chatting with Nectarrock, and I imagine if he's died from old age, I feel like at this point maybe Miststar kind of knows. If it's old age, then he must know that it's coming. So he kind of spent some time with Nectarrock just chatting about his day, and Nectarrock kind of served as his deputy the longest. So they, you know, would have had a very close connection, and they have a lot of history between them. So, and the fact that, you know, they're the first and second prophet, so they have that link as well. And then Miststar is gossiping with Ploompaw about Bubbling Gale. Oh my goodness. I mean, Bubbling Gale actually took his death very, very hard. But I feel like this interaction over here must have been like Ploompaw, you know, venting to Slumber Roach, and then Miststar kind of walked past after talking to Nectarrock, and he heard his son ranting about Bubbling Gale, and he wasn't per se like complaining. Miststar wasn't joining in on complaining about Bubbling Gale. I think he was trying to indulge his son. Just spend a little bit of time talking to his son and just appreciate like these last moments. Oh my goodness. Miststar has faith in Ploompaw. It feels like Miststar is doing his rounds, doesn't it? It feels like he's doing his rounds after he's kind of realized that he's losing his light. Oh my goodness. He's losing his luminosity. Is that a word? I have no clue. But you know, he's losing his light. Okay, Miststar, yeah, and he's telling Ploompaw that he has faith in him, probably because he's noticed how well Ploompaw is doing, and we talked about, literally a minute ago, we were talking about how Miststar was sharing his vision for the future with Ploompaw a couple episodes back. Cloudy Snarl always asks where Ploompaw is. Okay, I mean, it's kind of interesting. I suppose now that she isn't as close with Poppypaw as they used to be when she was a kitten. Especially after Brightpaw died, Poppypaw kind of always held it against Cloudy Snarl. So it seems as though Cloudy Snarl is now putting a lot of attention into Ploompaw. Grayswipe asks Cloudy Snarl about her duties. Okay. Grayswipe and Slumber Roach are assigned to the same task. Oh, this is funny. I feel like Slumber Roach would have made I think, yeah, Slumber Roach probably would have made like a bit of a tantrum. I don't know, made a slight complaint to someone, or it could have been that Grayswipe went to Cloudy Snarl to ask about the duties, and like she started noticing that, you know, Slumber Roach is making trouble in patrols and is kind of bored and is irritating Bubbling Gale and such. So she probably went to Cloudy Snarl to see if Cloudy Snarl could, you know, talk to Lyrebuzz or maybe Miststar and arrange the duties in a way, so she could spend a bit more time with Slumber Roach, and so they were assigned the same task, which is kind of nice. Grayswipe's hackles raise when Poppypaw passes by. Okay, you know what I think this is, because in the last episode, Grayswipe was actually talking to Lyrebuzz about how he was going as mentor, and I think Lyrebuzz would have discussed with Grayswipe that it is very difficult and Poppypaw just isn't engaging whatsoever. And I think Grey Swipe feels that it is a complete shame that Poppypaw is not willing to do the best that she can in this time, in this very precious time, to learn as much as possible, but also that she's not utilizing the resources, the skill set, the knowledge that Lyrebuzz has. And I think as a mentor, Grey Swipe is very disappointed in Poppypaw, and that's probably why her hackles are raising here. Okay, Nectarrock finds out something small about Slopefleck that Slopefleck had lied about before. Okay, I don't know what this is about, but I wonder if Nectarrock found out that Slopefleck is resentful. Actually, this makes sense. If Slopefleck is resentful towards Plumepaw. I mean, we talked about this before, but it's not because of Plumepaw. Slopefleck is resentful of what Plumepaw represents as the only prophetic bloodline to have continued from the three prophets through Miststar. And Nectarrock was just talking to Miststar beforehand, and I imagine, they talked about a lot of things, maybe even about the bloodlines. And Nectarrock has been unsuccessful thus far, even though he has made it to Dark Pounds to, establish his own line. Slopefleck hasn't even had a chance for that. And I think in the past, maybe Slopefleck always kind of, he kind of didn't acknowledge the fact that it was something that bothered him. Maybe he always passed it off as, oh, it's okay, my turn will come, I'm not too worried about that, I'm not too bothered, I'm still quite young. But maybe Nectarrock was talking to Slopefleck and it kind of slipped that Slopefleck is bothered by this, he is worried about this. Maybe Nectarrock mentioned something about Miststar, or something that Miststar said, and it kind of came out that Slopefleck, he's actually not okay with not having his bloodline continue, and he is quite disturbed and upset about that. Okay, Nectarrock is sparring with Slumberroach. Okay, and Nectarrock trying to do his best to keep Slumberroach busy. Slopefleck feels most like himself when he's around Poppypaw. Okay, so Slopefleck, it's funny, feels like Plumepaw is a representation or a symbol of what he doesn't have, whereas he's more comfortable around Poppypaw. And I imagine that it's probably because he sees Poppypaw as being the complete opposite of her brother, and so in a way, Poppypaw's situation with her experience in training and just generally being unsuccessful with her tasks is probably like a metaphor of how Slopefleck's life is going in terms of, his bloodlines. He feels unsuccessful as well. He feels like nothing's really happening. He's not making as much progress as the others as well. So I can see how he would kind of relate to Poppypaw in that very obscure way. Poppypaw sees Slopefleck being gentle with an injured bug. And yeah, Poppypaw, okay, so she has a good impression of the third prophet, it seems. Slumberroach smacks a spider off of Plumepaw. So these two are actually spending some time together. They were actually, complaining about bubbling gill together. A Plumepaw was venting to Slumberroach. So that's kind of cute. And oh no, so those were the last. Okay, guys. Darn. So it seems as though the final moments, I feel like this is also very telling for the different cats. Like when cats pass away, especially when it's from things like this and not in patrol, I always like to see who they spent time with before they died, like what they did in their final moments. And it seems as though Miststar, in his final moments, chatted with Nectarrock, and then he gossiped with his son, he spent some time with his son, and then it seems he probably went back into his den and he curled up and he passed away. Oh my goodness, that is so sad. That is so sad. Okay, so that was a thing. Okay, Miststar, yes, he passed away at this point. And Cloudy Snarl, yeah, she was quite upset about that, and it seems as though that is all that has happened. But I feel like that was a lot. Sometimes, guys, we jump into these episodes and we kind of go really quickly through the events and the relationships because, there's not much to, unpack and talk about, which was like last episode. It was fairly speedy. And then we have episodes like this one where we spend 30 minutes just going through events. But okay, guys, I'm going to cut the recording here, and then I'm going to jump into the cat list we actually have some adjustments to make because we currently have no deputy. That means that we're going to have some new appointments across the leadership board, you know, new cats in power, so we'll see how that goes. And also, I'm very curious to see what kind of loyalties we're going to have with Lyrestar, because Miststar passed away with having almost every cat except Darkpounce loyal to him. So I'm very, very curious about how all the cats feel about the change in leadership. How much faith do they have in him to lead them from this loss? So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, it is time for us to take a look at the cat list. First up, we are going to be talking about the new role appointments. So obviously Lyrestar is the new leader of the clan, and that means some of the other roles had to shift around because we had no deputy. So now guys, our new deputy is Cloudy Snarl. Lyrestar has, I think, for a while now had like a good close friendship with Cloudy Snarl and, you know, Darkpounce obviously. So I think it just makes sense that she would go ahead and become his deputy now that he is leader. And that means we need a new medicine cat, so Darkpounce has been promoted to medicine cat. And for our mediator, Lyrestar has appointed his mate Slopefleck. And I don't know if I've talked about this before. I think I've mentioned something about how in the clans that I play, what tends to happen is that the cats that end up becoming leader, they've typically served a combination of the other roles. And the other thing, I feel like because I do a lot of the appointments, you know, according to age, so a lot of the older cats end up in positions of power, which makes sense to me. And also, I think I've talked about the fact that mediator, I feel like is almost like an entry-level role into politics for a lot of these cats. So, you know, as cats get older, they start going into becoming mediators, and then the promotion from mediator is a medicine cat, and then a promotion from medicine cat is into the deputy, and then the promotion from deputy, I mean, not all the time, it could be you go from deputy to retirement, like Nectarok did, but, you know, if you're lucky, you'll go from being deputy to being a leader like Lyrestar. And Lyrestar actually served as medicine cat beforehand, and then he became the deputy, and then obviously now leader. So I think that's quite intriguing. I think that's quite intriguing. I mean, how do you guys like to do your roles? Because it kind of just makes sense to me. Like, the older cats that have more experience are going to be the ones entering into politics, and so the wisest cat, or the oldest cat, which at this point is Lyrestar, is going to be the clan leader, right? They have the most experience. They're the ones who are going to be able to, you know, make the decisions for their clan, and also you'd think the leader that would have the most respect. But respect and loyalty, I feel like, are two different things, which leads us to our next kind of bit, which is, you know, the loyalties. So who among the clan believe in Lyrestar as the new leader, and who kind of his anti-loyalists? They don't really think that Lyrestar is going to be as good of a leader as Miststar. And here we go, guys. The clan is actually split. So Lyrestar has the support of 5 other cats, including himself. That makes 6. So these cats are happy that Lyrestar has taken on as leader. I mean, obviously they're upset about Miststar's death, but they feel as though Lyrestar is going to do his role justice, and he is what they need going into this new phase of Luminous Clan's history or future, right? And then we have 4 cats. 4 cats, a smaller number, but higher than Miststar had in his later years, who don't feel as though Lyrestar is going to be as good of a leader as Miststar was. And that includes Bubbling Gill and obviously the family members of Miststar. I don't think Miststar's mate and his children are going to think that anyone could do a better job than him, because obviously it's their father and their mate, right? And then Bubbling Gill. I feel like Bubbling Gill always viewed Miststar as stable, and to him, Lyrestar is too crafty of a cat. And I think Bubbling Gill, as someone who is compassionate, someone who is honest, quite simple, feels that Lyrestar in a position of power is like a sword dangling over everyone's throat. Like, you really don't know what's gonna happen. And I mean, he doesn't know it, but Lyrestar has killed someone. So, yeah, Bubbling Gill, he's not entirely sure that Lyrestar is going to kind of be able to pull the clan together. But we'll see how opinions perhaps change going forward. But okay, let's go ahead and actually see what everyone is doing for the day and how they're dealing with the death of Miststar. And I checked relationships. There have been no like obvious changes. And you know, at this point in time, like when you've played for this long, it can get very hard to figure out like, you know, what has changed, because everyone's built so many relationships. It's kind of easier in the very beginning when those green and red bars start popping up. But I think it'll be interesting once Poppypaw and Plumepaw become warriors to kind of see the changes they have in their relationships, because, you know, we'll be keeping an eye on like romantic attachments. And actually, speaking of that, I have to remember to set them so that they don't have any unauthorized kittens. And honestly, Dog Pounce, Nectarrock, I know we are in mourning, but we are down to 10 cats. Like, if we needed a litter of kittens, we need it now. We have lost like 3 cats so close together, I feel. Like, we need more kittens. Our population is dwindling. Okay, Lyrestar. Let's take a look. Saw a 2-legged cat playing with a kitty pet, and guys, I feel like our recording is stretching a bit long. I might actually have to split this video, or this episode into 2 videos, so we'll see how that goes, but I feel like we might have to do that, because there was just so much to talk about. Cloudy Snarl found a wonderful napping spot outside camp, and you know, she's grieving, and she doesn't really want to be here. She doesn't want to see like the memories of Miststar everywhere, so that does make sense to me. Dog Pounce got startled by a squirrel, and you know what? I can kind of see how, like, you know, with Cloudy Snarl, she just got promoted to deputy, but she doesn't care about any of that. She doesn't want to be in camp right now. She just wants to sleep and sleep and sleep. Whereas Dog Pounce, you know, she has in a lot of ways been stuck in camp ever since she became a mediator, and she, I don't think, liked that at all. You know, she's a talented swimmer. She likes being out there. She likes doing things. And she's righteous. She doesn't like being tied up. So I feel like for Dog Pounce, I mean, she was the only anti-loyalist that Miststar had for, you know, the later half of his life. So in the fact that she's actually loyal to the new leader, I think says a lot about how maybe choked up she was feeling as mediator, and how choked up she was feeling being tied to Nectarrock. And now that, you know, the new leader has come in, he's promoted her to medicine cat, she can go out again. She can go out and do her patrols and get ingredients and, you know, have a lot of freedom, the freedom that was taken away from her. So obviously she's gonna love this. She's gonna absolutely love it. And I can kind of see how as soon as she got told that she was now medicine cat, she kind of ran out of camp, and she was kind of looking at everything, and she got startled by Squirrel because, you know, she hasn't really been out on her own in a long time. So there is obviously sadness for the change, but I think more than anything, Dog Pounce is probably the most excited for the shifts that have happened. Slowfleck has the apprentices very engaged in a very, very tall tale. Okay, Slowfleck is the mediator. Yeah, he's feeling sick, but I think he probably also feels, as Lyrestar's mate, this responsibility to make sure that the youngsters, you know, that they don't feel overwhelmed and left out. And he is sick right now, but he is trying his best. What does he actually have? He has yellow cough, right? He is sick, but he's trying his best to keep them engaged so they don't fall apart. And it's infectious, so I imagine he's like, you know, telling the apprentices a tale from a distance. He's trying his best to like croak out this story because he keeps coughing and the story keeps getting interrupted by coughs, and the kittens, or you know, the adolescents are having to strain their ears to hear him, but he's still trying, you know, as the mediator. And I think he's trying to ease some of the burden for his mate as well. Slumber Roach daydreams about being a warrior in a tiger clan. I think Slumber Roach is daydreaming about his mate being apprentice free and him being able to spend more time with her. Bubbling Gill is giving some advice to Slopefleck. Yeah, Bubbling Gill, who's also grieving, so he can probably understand what the apprentices, who are Miststar's children, going through, and he's trying to help Slopefleck, to direct his tale in a way that doesn't touch maybe on some sensitive matters and topics. Grayswipe is sharpening her claws. Yeah, I imagine she is feeling this huge responsibility as a mentor to be emotional support to Plumepaw, I imagine. And Lyrestar. Yeah, he hasn't really been as focused on Poppypaw. At this point, it feels like he's kind of given up on Poppypaw. He's just waiting for her to have a naming ceremony and kind of be done with her. Whereas Grayswipe, I feel like she's definitely taking her role more seriously as mentor. Poppypaw will never forget Miststar. Oh, Poppypaw. I mean, she's a loving outplay fighter. She was very close to her parents growing up. Very, very close. And I feel like especially in these years when she has been feeling... Oh, wait, never mind. Guys. I've made a mistake. I don't know why I had it in my head. Sorry. I had it in my head that the apprentices were turning into warriors at 10 moons. I don't know why I had that in my head. They're turning into apprentices in 12 moons. Oh my goodness. If you guys have been yelling at me this whole time, I apologize. I just noticed. Yes, this is what happens when I don't play ClanGen for a few days. I get confused and distracted. But, I mean, it's been New Year's, and we've been busy. I feel like I've lived several lifetimes. So, I've kind of forgotten a little bit about what I was doing in my ClanGen lifetime. But yes, 12 moons. We have another 2 moons, guys. We have another 2 episodes before they turn into warriors. So we have time. We actually have time. Which is even more concerning that Lyrestar has given up on Poppypaw. But I wonder if her father's death is finally going to motivate her and propel her to, make something of herself. Because the clan needs warriors right now. They really, really need capable warriors. Plumepaw took a long walk on his own to mourn Miststar in private. Oh my goodness, Plumepaw. I mean, he was one of the lost cats that his father spent time with. In fact, if we follow the order of events, with Nectarrock being the first cat that Miststar talked to, and Plumepaw being the last, Plumepaw was the final cat his father talked to. So I feel like that would kind of be even more crushing for Plumepaw, and he'd be going over the conversation he had with his father and everything they talked about, over and over and over in his head, because he's trying to glean as much information, trying to soak as much in. I don't feel like Plumepaw is the type who would have kind of treated the conversation as casual and blasé. I feel like he's the type of cat that really listens to everything people say. So I think, he was definitely focused on his conversation with his father, but I think now he's also going back through it and trying to remember as much as possible. And Nectarrock is careful not to stand under branches with snow on them. So it seems as though that is all we have right now for, what the cats are doing in the day. But okay, guys, I'm going to cut the recording here, and then we're going to continue with patrols. So I'll see you guys in a second. We are supposed to continue with patrols, but I just realized I don't think I checked the medicine cat den. So really quickly, did I set the leaders den? I think I did. Yes. But we didn't check the medicine cat den, so let me go and do that real quick. Oh, and guys, thank goodness I remembered before patrols. We have a new leader, which means we have a new focus, potentially, for the warriors and how they're going to deal with things. Let's check the log, though, first up. So Rosemary was used for Miststar's body? Oh my goodness. Okay, Cloudy Snow was given Poppy as treatment for grief-stricken. Slopefleck was given Lungwort as treatment for yellow cough. Okay, so that is good. Dark Pounce is the new medicine cat. So we do need to see how the new cats are gonna do on their roles, but also kind of glad we have an active medicine cat. Very, very glad. But okay, what did I want to do? Right, Warrior's Den. Right, Warrior's Den. Thank goodness I didn't do the Medicine Cat Den. Otherwise, I would have forgotten about the Warrior's Den. So now that we have a new leader who is confident, is a renowned hunter and confident. Lyrestar, what would he want to focus on? What would he want to focus on? So with Miststar, who was, hold on a second, Miststar was playful, a playful, good mediator. So he didn't really take a lot of things seriously. And for him, it was kind of more important to really guide the lightless cats, which is why Luminous Clan was created in the first place. But now we have a confident leader who is a good hunter, right? So definitely it seems as though this, confident leader who's a good hunter would focus more on hunting and fresh kill, right? So between the options that we have, feeding the clan will focus on hunting. Each working warrior, including the deputy and leader, and each working apprentice will gather additional prey on each moonskip. I mean, we have assisting with herb gathering, but I don't see that for him. Feeding the clan makes sense. Not resting and recovering, not sabotaging other clans, helping, raiding, hoarding resources. Let's see. Warriors will begin stockpiling as many resources as they can get their paws on, regardless of their own safety. Prayer and hubs will increase each moonskip, but injuries and illnesses will also increase. No, I think the one that makes the most sense for Lyrestar, I mean, yes, he has, been a medicine cat, but I feel like him being a confident and good hunter, I think for him as leader, food is the most important. I think also because the clan is split, and this kind of, is going to show the other cats the type of leader he's going to be. I feel like with Lyrestar, especially because he's not a prophet, so it makes sense that he wouldn't really, put much focus on the duty they have guiding the lightless cats. Yes, that is what Luminous Clan is supposed to do, and for Miststar, that was kind of the main thing they were supposed to do, but for Lyrestar, he is not one of the prophets. He doesn't even have the prophetic blood in him. So for him, it's more important to get the other cats support by keeping their bellies full, by feeding them and providing for them. So I think that's what the new focus is going to be for the clan. It's going to be feeding the clan. So we're going to go ahead and change our focus. There we go. So under Lyrestar, new leader, that is going to be what we focus on. And now let's go out on patrol. So our medicine cat, Dark Pounce, she's gonna go out on her own, and then we have quite a few cats down from being grief-stricken, but we do have the 2 apprentices, we do have the 2 mentors, and we have Slumber Roach who are going to go out on a patrol of 5. And this is the first patrol with these kind of new roles assigned with Lyrestar as a leader, so I feel like that's gonna be telling. Okay, Dark Pounce, let's send you out and see how you go as Medicine Cat. I'm hoping that you do a lot better than you did as Meat Eater, or at least you feel more fulfilled. Which, already I think she does, but we'll see how she adjusts. So current prey is 91.5, and we need 23.5. So let's go on patrol. In the leaf bare snow, the chances of finding any usable daisies seem slim. Dark Pounce hesitates. Should she even try to look? Proceed. Not only does Dark Pounce end up soaked to the skin, but she also doesn't end up finding any daisies under the snow. By the time she returns to camp, she's left cold, wet, and shivering violently. What a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Oh no, Dark Pounce got shivering. Okay, so she didn't have, a good day out. But I think Dark Pounce was way too enthusiastic. It is leaf bare still. I think she was way too enthusiastic, especially for a cat that hasn't been out on a patrol for many, many moons. So I think she was a bit overconfident. And yeah, it ended up being a terrible day. She was too enthusiastic and ill-prepared. And she started shivering. Right, okay, hopefully she gets better, but now Medicine Cat is down. And now finally we're going to send out our final patrol of 5. So we've got Plume Paw, we have Poppy Paw, Grey Swipe, Slumber Roach, and Lyrestar. So let's see what they get up to. Hopefully they do find some food, because, you know, that is the new focus, hunting for Lyrestar. So let's see. The patrol comes across a large rat. It's too busy digging around in a frozen pile of foul two-legged crow food to notice the approaching patrol. Proceed. The patrol easily catches the distracted rat. Lyrestar meows triumphantly. This is a great catch during Leaf Bear. Okay, a medium amount of prey is brought to camp. So that was actually very successful. We have 142.5 food or prey, and we need 23.5. So that is really, really good. Hopefully, you know, this manages to win over some of the other cats. I feel like that's what Lyrestar would be feeling like. Hopefully, the other cats will kind of start noticing that, you know, he is doing his best in Leaf Bear. And I feel like being a leader that focuses on food during a season like Leaf Bear is going to be a popular choice. But okay guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.